Okay, so in last video we talked about the 5 stages of coming together. So that is the 5 stages people may experience when they develop a relationship. Well, sometimes it is inevitable that a relationship may deteriorate. So people may have this experience of coming apart. So let's talk about these 5 stages people may go through when they come apart. The first one is differentiating. That is, the relationship partners attempt to regain their privacy and unique identities. So sometimes, from time to time, we may feel that we're not quite the same people. We're so different. So occasionally we may have these experiences, or we may have these feelings. That is the differentiating stage. So in this situation, they want to regain their privacy. They want to probably have some personal space from each other and regain their unique identities. And the characteristics of this stage is sometimes people realize, or people would think that we're not quite the same. We're very different people. So they may question this relationship, and this happens a lot. And whether you can work out this relationship or this struggle really depends on how you deal with these feelings, right? How you want to, whether or not you want to put effort saving or maintaining this relationship. The second thing people would do at this stage is sometimes they would, because they realize they're different people, they want to regain their identities. So they would use more and more terms such as yours and mine instead of ours. Okay, so this could be taken as a sign indicating that people they would feel we are quite different, and I want to regain my privacy. That is the first stage. Well, if you can deal with this stage well, it may bring you back to the previous stage. But if it is not working, you may go one step further down. And here we come to the second stage of coming apart, circumscribing. That is, people would constrict the breadth and depth of self-disclosure. So people at this stage, they would seldom engage in self-disclosure behaviors, and the communication become less and less frequent. And people at this stage, they would first start to have some personal attacks, okay, show their dissatisfaction towards each other about this relationship. And second, they would shrink their interest and communication. So the communication becomes less and less frequent, and they don't want to engage in self-disclosure about, or some self-expressions about their interest, about their lives. That are two things people do at this circumscribing stage. And if things cannot work out, unfortunately, people got to move to the third stage of coming apart, which is stagnating. So people at this stage, they would really get stuck here, and they totally shut off their communication with each other. That is stagnating. So relationship partners, they close themselves off from each other. So they still see each other, but they seldom do communication. So communication at this stage is really infrequent. And all the communication they do is pretty much like the business interactions. So I talk with you simply because I have to talk with you. We have to deal with this issue, such as pick up the kids, pay the rent, etc. And other than that, I don't have any, care or affections towards you. And still, if people cannot work out, things cannot work out at this stage, they have to come down one step further, which is avoiding. So people at this stage, they would physically remove themselves from this relationship, avoid seeing each other again. So that is avoiding. People physically remove themselves from their partner, such as move out, move to another city, not answering any calls or text messages, etc. That is avoiding. The last one, terminating, that is, you officially announce the end of this relationship. That is a summary dialogue you would do with yourself or with your partner to announce the end of this relationship. Okay, so announce the upcoming separations. People may make this announcement on their Facebook, such as I am announcing that I'm changing from the married status to being a single. And this announcement could be internal and or external. An internal example would be an inner dialogue with myself. I got to move on. I got to end this relationship and start a new life. And some external announcement would be, the status change on your social media or signing a divorce paper. Okay, that are the 5 stages of coming apart when a relationship deteriorates. So just to recap, differentiating is a stage where people feel that they are different. These feelings may happen a lot, and whether things can work out really depends on whether you can put some effort saving this relationship. And if you can save it, you may go back to the previous stage. But if things do not work well, you have to go down to the second stage, which is circumscribing. So circumscribing is a stage where people would shrink their communication with each other. They still do some communications, but not a lot. They begin to shrink this communication. And they seldom show their care and love towards each other. And for this stagnating stage, people would just do business like talk, right? Such as pay the rent, send this paper, etc. Avoiding, that is, people physically remove themselves from each other from this relationship. Last one, terminating, signing a divorce paper, making a kind of announcement about the end of this relationship. Okay, so that are the 5 stages. I want to make some note about this stage model. So not all relationships would go through all these stages, and some relationships may stay at one stage forever, such as friendship. And some relationships may develop really quick, and they may skip 1 or 2 stages together, or the relationship deteriorates really quick, and they may skip 1 or 2 stages of coming apart. So I also prepared these 5 clips from movies, and also can you identify which movie clip represents which stage of coming apart? And next, we're going to talk about the last model for today's topic, which is this Anderson's cognitive valence theory.